We're going to reconvene our work session tonight. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, we have a few more items for discussion for work session, but the regular meeting will start at 6 o'clock. Is noted to start at 6 o'clock. So I would suggest that the City Council, that the Mayor entertain a motion to recess the work session and reconvene the work session immediately following the regular meeting tonight. So.
You have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, Ms. White?
Smith.
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes.
Wynn.
Yes.
Brabner. Mayor Bass.
Yes. All right, I will call to order our regularly scheduled City Council meeting tonight. It is 6:04 p.m. Roll call, Ms. White?
Smith. Here. Gustafson.
Here.
Ramsey.
Here.
Wynn.
Here.
Brabner. Here. Mayor Bass.
Here. Mr. Ramsey, would you lead us tonight in the invocation and pledge of allegiance, please?
Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to serve the city and people who call it home. We don't take that responsibility lightly. We ask for wisdom and clarity in the decisions before us tonight. Help us to think clearly, act with integrity, and choose what is right over what is easy or popular. Give us humility to listen well, to respect one another, even in disagreement, and to stay focused on the good of the whole community rather than our own interests. Guide our work so that what we do here strengthens the city, supports our families, and serves those whose voices aren't always heard. We ask for your protection over our first responders, our city employees, and our family and our community. We pray that this meeting would be conducted with patience, respect, and a spirit of unity. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey. I know you guys have all had a chance to look over the minutes from the previous work session on April 6th and the regular meeting on April 6th. Are there any adjustments or amendments that need to be made to those minutes? Right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from regular work session April 6th and regular meeting April 6th, 2026?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, Ms. White?
Smith.
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes.
Wynn.
Yes.
Brabner.
Yes.
Mayor Bass.
Yes, the minutes stand approved. Reports from our committees tonight. Ms. White, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Connor?
Mayor, we do have one additional resolution number 1595-2026, and this would be a resolution appointing a new member to the Spanish Fork Public School Commission. It was added to the agenda at the work session. Just want to remind of that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Connor. Lieutenant Mooney, before you give us your report, I'd like to welcome one of the newest members of the Spanish Fork Police Department, Ray. Looks like he's catching a well-deserved nap now, so I just wanted to thank him for being here tonight. I think this is the first council meeting he's been in attendance for, so anything from the police department?
No report.
All right, thank you, Lieutenant Mooney. Chief Few?
Our summer camp is coming up in June the 8th through the 12th, and we opened registration last night. Very popular camp. It closed. It filled up within about 20 minutes. So we do have a full slate for summer camp in June.
Okay, great. The attendance is a good thing to see. The folks interested, I know the police department will be opening theirs up for the summer pretty soon too, and I know that's always a hot ticket as well. So, Eddie, anything from Public Works?
No report, sir.
All right. Mr. Weaver, anything from Parks? All right. Mr. Chapman, you're joining us tonight. Anything from SFSA?
Yeah, pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. Just want to run through, give you kind of an overhead. We're kind of wrapping up our spring season. We have 360 baseball players for the city this year, 80 softball players, 269 soccer players, and 102 flag. All of those are 12 and under, all rec, all youth from the city of Spanish Fork. We had 314 basketball players that we finished up with in the winter months that we wrapped up. Other thing is baseball, we usually do a closing ceremonies every year. It's going to be on May the 11th at 6 o'clock. Like to extend an invitation to you and any of the council members that would like to make it. It's going to be at the Spanish Fort High School baseball field. Like I said, that is 5/11 at 6 p.m. That's when we announce the league winners. We announce the teams that'll be representing the cities and all-stars and everything else. We also had the sign sponsorship that we were doing for Spirit Park that we had talked about earlier in the year. We actually sold 46 signs for Spirit Park, so we'll see those going up over the next couple of weeks as well. So that's just a general overview, kind of where we're at. We're kind of moving out of the spring and kind of moving into our fall-type sports.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chapman. But some of the folks that are in attendance or those at home know, obviously SFSA is an independent group from the city, but we do work hand in hand, and you guys are pretty much an all-volunteer group. I think you guys catch a lot of flack and get yelled out a lot for things that are outside of your control, but we do thank you for all the time and hours you guys put in as volunteers, because I know it goes a long way in making sports successful in our community, so thank you. Mr. Smith, anything from Planning Commission?
Yes, sir. On April 13th, the Planning Commission met and forwarded a positive recommendation to us to make a change of the table of permitted uses to allow golf cart sales by right in B4 and with Planning Commission approval in B3. That's an item that'll be on our agenda tonight.
All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Gustafson, anything from Junior City Council?
Nothing from Junior City Council other than I'm happy to report that one of their last acts in their current term, that I've got 4 of them out of 7 that will be helping with Delta Woods and Waters, which we'll be announcing a little bit later on.
Okay.
So they're participating all the way to the end.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gustafson. Ms. Brabner, anything from 3 Mill? You've got a video.
So we went to the conference in Fort Worth in June, and we came back and really hit the ground running. We've been doing the 15-day plan all this year, which we're not too far into the year, but this whole quarter we've been 15-day planning, and so we don't know yet exactly how it's going to impact scores, but it just seems like it's going to have such a positive effect.
And I can already tell you that we're seeing students who typically would have given up after the beginning of the year when it's a really challenging first unit, because we kept spiraling back and having the intentional interventions and formative assessments that we learned at this training. I'm seeing students really start to master concepts that they would have probably given up on earlier in the year. So I mean, that's really exciting, because it's not just the accelerated students that we're being able to reach more effectively this early in the year, but some of the students that typically might have lost their love for math, because 7th grade math is so challenging at the beginning of the year.
Also, I had a student, I won't give her name, but she was a gifted, very bright student, and she just told me, she had a moment of honesty one day, and she said, you know that we don't learn this to learn it, right? We learn it for the test, because when I was going back, spiraling back before the ACAP, we do what's called a spiral review, and before we had started in January spiral reviewing, but now what Mayor just alluded to is we spiral reviewed the first unit and the second unit. So when they had missed adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing integers, if they didn't get that the first time, it's still showing back up on the second test and the third test and the fourth test, so that they can't do that just learning it for the test mentality. They have to learn it. That's what makes it a boulder, is that we're guaranteeing that they know it.
Excited to have many of our educators here tonight, and kudos to y'all for all the hard work that you do. What you can see from this particular video is these teachers don't give up. They work with the students, and they keep them going all year long so they don't fall behind. They didn't get the first concept. they keep building on that and keep going back and working with them, and that's one thing. These teachers do not give up, and the funding that we have available through the 3 Meal is giving them the tools to be able to keep these students engaged from day one to the very end. I also want to say that we have a 3 Meal committee meeting this Thursday at 5:30 at Rockwell, and it is open to the public. We will receive the first round of requests from our principals for what they would like to see money spent on next year. So really excited, and we can all attest to the fact that 3 Meal matters. But also, one other thing, we have set up this is not 3 Meal, we have set up a tennis committee to help the city determine how we want to use, or rules and regulations and things we would like to see for our tennis courts at Spirit Park. We're having a meeting this coming Wednesday, the 22nd, at 5:30 here at City Hall. So if you are a tennis player, somebody in your family is a tennis player, and you would like to give us your input on that, we would welcome you to come to that meeting as well.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bradner. Anybody else? Anything? All right, we've come to the part of the evening for public participation. If you have something you'd like to bring to the council or the city, feel free to approach the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to state what you've brought to us tonight from a business standpoint. If you could just state your name, your address, so we can record that in the minutes. You'll have 3 minutes. We'll be a little graceful, but feel free to approach the podium. And public participation is open now.
Tall enough for y'all to see me. My name is Sherry Palmer. My address is 2817 Silentwood Drive, and that's Cantonment, Florida. I am the president of the Crew of Serendipity, and we are a women's Mardi Gras organization. We are not even a year old. Our first birthday will be in June, and within that time we've raised a little under $10,000 and given it to Prodigy Pantry. We've done things for the North Baldwin Humane Society or Animal Shelter, and we also supported a local family that was going through a cancer battle. So with that being said, we have 200 members, which causes a problem of trying to find some place to have a meeting. So the main reason we're here is to ask for permission to be able to use this beautiful facility that would hold all of our members once a month on the third Thursday nights. At free would be great, or minimal cost, because at a minimal cost even puts a damper on our budget and being able to give out more money to the community projects. So we'd love to do that, and also have leniency whenever we have our Mardi Gras ball, which we had our first one, and it was very successful, and we had it here. This is a beautiful facility, and we loved having it here. We love calling Spanish Fort our home, and so that's what we're here to ask, is that we have permission to use the facility for our monthly meetings and leniency on fees for our ball. That's all I've got.
All right, thank you, Ms. Palmer. Anyone else? Public participation? So I'm going to close public participation. I don't know if you guys want to discuss at all what Ms. Palmer brought to us. I know it's been great meeting with you guys along the way. I know we've sat down with Lieutenant Mooney and Chief Barber and plans for y'all's parade and everything next year. I do know that this most recent meeting, we waived the fee to use the building except for the cleaning fee, and I think that's just a generic term we've used, cleaning fee, because there's a lot that goes into that as far as paying someone to be here after hours, especially to set the room up, clean up. Even if there's minimal cleanup, they still have to rearrange chairs and all that stuff. So that's really what that fee goes to. I think our normal contract for use of this room is a 6-hour minimum. So, obviously you guys just use it for a few hours. I think, we've waived that fee, for the normal use and just charged the cleanup fee. So I have no problem moving forward. I think the biggest thing with, for you guys around scheduling, if there's other events potentially, which I know you've worked with Fern, our scheduling person, to make sure there's no other, long-term events that are using the space. I've got no issue with that. I mean, I think it's been, you guys have been a great asset to the city, even though it hasn't been quite a year. Just the spirit of Mardi Gras that you guys have brought with you. And I think one of the biggest things y'all asked was find us a bigger building. And I wish we could snap our fingers and build something for you guys. But right now what we've got is what we've got. If we can do what we can to help you guys out, I'm definitely in support of that. I'll open it up to the rest of the council as well.
Of course, first I'm hearing about it, along with the rest of us, but was this a monthly? Once a month, one night a month?
A once a month meeting, not a
Not a ball.
Not a ball. Yeah.
Yeah. They like to party. No, but anyway, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm prepared to give my thoughts on that yet, but that's a pretty generous offer if we were to do that. I think I don't know that we've done that for anybody else ever, and committing staff to be here once a month. I mean, it's not insignificant. I'll just say it that way, but I'd love to hear what everybody else has to
Yeah,
say.
I think she said the third Thursday at 7, so that would be, we'd have, I guess 2 hours overtime before they start, and then another one, during that somebody'd have to stay. It does kind of create a, I mean, if you said 2 o'clock, that'd be easier, but of course, it'd be hard for y'all to get to that.
Yeah, it's the third Thursday what we have right now. If that worked out with the community center, of course, we're open to changing it to a different date. It's usually, we're usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. And, it would be helpful if the board could get in just to get settled before the meeting. So we're looking at 3 hours at the most. So last month, or this past meeting, we were able to do it and we were out by 8 o'clock. So we're willing to work with whatever we're given, but, we don't need it for 6 hours. So, but I understand, needing to pay, but we have big plans or big dreams for the city of Spanish Fort and helping the community and everything. So, that's why we're petitioning for the permission to use it.
I'm sure we have to talk about this offline, but it seems like it'd be easier to approve if it was Saturday morning at 10, but I don't know what that conflicts might be, but the overtime issue is something that I'd struggle with.
Okay.
Even Saturday, we're gonna have to pay somebody to come in. That's not scheduled, so it would still be, an overtime situation, just on a different day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have any thoughts. Yeah, I know for HOA events, we do waive the fee to use the room. I feel like them as part of our community, which granted, there's several of y'all's members, plenty of y'all's members that are Spanish Fort citizens. It's a little different situation, a once a year HOA style meeting where there's information coming from both fire, police, and the mayor as well, compared to more of a social gathering. I think what we did this past month was probably, I get you guys to go to a restaurant or that kind of thing and not have to pay to use a space, but I'm sure most restaurants would require you to order food or drinks or what have you for you guys to be there. So I think it's just something we'll need to talk about probably as a staff, just to in perpetuity say, sure, you can use it, and then also any potential scheduling conflicts that could arise.
Yeah, and also, would it need to be set up in a certain way that staff would have to prepare for?
It actually would not. We're very open. Last month, or this past meeting, it was set up with tables because they had the senior center had a luncheon or whatever. If you're familiar with Peggy, Ms. Peggy, she just told them to leave it like that. That worked fine. If it was set up like this, that works fine. if we had access to the chairs, we could just grab a chair and come out and put them back. We're very open to, something. We just need a bigger space, 200 women. There's not really a restaurant that we can all meet at, so. And it wouldn't probably be every month. We could actually maybe cut it down to 6 times a year, because we will have socials, and we split into smaller groups now so that they can meet at their homes. But we do need to get together for a general meeting, once a month.
So I know being here just about every day now, this room is used for so many different things. And, there's days where, there's tables set up. There's days where they're doing tax preparation stuff in the spring. There's library reading events in here where there's no chairs. There's square dancing one day a week. There's yoga. Anything you could imagine this room gets used for. So it's hard to say, and I get completely what you're saying, but, there's days where there's no chairs in here at all. So then we do have to pay someone, to set them up for y'all's event. Or tables, or break tables down from a prior event. So I think it's just something we need to talk about before we make a final decision.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Palmer. Anyone else for public participation?
Hey guys, my name is Thomas Cost. I'm at 18 Pirates Lane here in Spanish Florida States. We're having an issue with a coyote. I don't know how to bring this up except come to you directly. We've contacted Public Works. They've been very responsive. They came out and immediately set up a cage trap in the woods nearby, which is likely where it's coming from. It came and took our cat Wednesday from our house, 5 feet from our house. And so it's an issue. But what I understand from what I read about it is that the cage is not going to be maybe very effective at catching coyotes. They're pretty wily. And that the USDA, for example, uses snares. And we've had the USDA, what I understand, come out before into the neighborhood and catch a couple of coyotes, probably using snares. But you guys may not be inclined to pay for that. I understand you might have to pay for that for the USDA to come out.
With the USDA, there is a contract with the city that we have for them. I know Mr. Burrows and I were talking about this week. Mr. McDonald could probably shed some light on it too. But the USDA team, I think, assuming it's due to some of the federal shutdown stuff, the person for this area got called off to another assignment. So they pulled the traps. I think that was in February or March, Eddie?
I believe it was mid-February.
Okay. So the traps have not been out since some late February, early March, whatever the exact time frame was. Obviously, sorry for the issue you guys have dealt with. It's a pet's obviously like a family member for most folks. I have no problem, partnering with the USDA again if they're available. That was a contract the city council approved, I think, last summer, because this was an issue in the estates. Our guys, obviously at Public Works, they're spread all over the city, especially now during growing season, cutting grass, fixing potholes, attending to dogs was an issue in the last few days, and coyotes as well. But I think ultimately, the USDA would probably be the most helpful if we could get the traps back out, and I have no reason on our end.
If that's the way the mayor and council wants to go, then we'll make contact with them and see if they're available.
Yeah, and I don't think it was a matter, they were still under contract. They got pulled off to another assignment somewhere else, as my understanding from Mr. Burrows with Public Works, is why they left in February.
Okay.
I would add that contract we did with FDA, it was controversial. There was a lot of people that came out here and spoke out against it. So if you see another meeting, you might want to come here and give your side of the story too, because nobody did. It was as though we were just out trying to kill dogs.
I will say this is the second coyote call we've had in the last week. We've got another one right over here just next door in Spanish Village, where they have a coyote on film of coming through their yard chasing cats.
So we have it on film of him getting our cat and listening to it tear it apart in our yard. So it's obviously a problem for us.
Well, again, I'm sorry for you guys, obviously the loss of your pet. Eddie, we'll reach out to USDA
Yes.
tomorrow. Again, I don't know staff-wise where they are, but, I mean, I think we can definitely push the issue with them to bring them out. And
Yes, sir,
if the contract needs to be extended, that's something we can look at, you know, even if we need to call a special meeting to get those traps back deployed, we can do that.
Okay, we'll get on that first thing tomorrow.
I'm very grateful for that. Also, just want to give accolades to the Public Works because that gentleman right there took my call after hours and immediately jumped on it. So he's doing everything he can for sure. So I just want to make sure we can put something out there that would be effective because, again, everything I read, cage probably ain't going to work.
Yeah, well, thank you. No, our team does a great job. I was out today, unfortunately, a fire truck in the neighborhood. I think their hose hit a mailbox, and I went out to look at it today, but Eddie also went out, and we spoke with the homeowner. So they're, if they know about it, I think about the bridge here on Blakely Way when there was an issue. As soon as we knew about that a couple weeks ago, they were out within 24 hours, I think, and had that
Yes,
fixed.
so we had it done in an 8-hour span of 2 days.
Yeah, so I always encourage folks, if you see something, please let us know, because if we don't know, you know, we have no way to address it. But again, sorry for you guys' loss, and we'll get on it tomorrow.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thomas, I need your last name, please.
COST, cost.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Are you closer to Spanish Main or to Quezon Trace?
So I'm at the intersection of Quezon and Pirates Lane.
Okay.
So I'm closer to 225 than 31, but not by a lot.
Yeah, with all the woods behind there, but behind Quezon and 225, 225, that's,
But
there's a lot of wildlife back there.
I saw the coyote about a month ago. Just saw him coming out. I see where he's coming out. There's a vacant lot across from us that's wooded, heavily wooded, and it leads to the power lines, which of course leads to everywhere in Spanish Fort. So
But Eddie, according to Facebook, a fox has also been seen between Monroe Lane and I guess that's Lackawanna.
A fox or a coyote?
Oh, well, heck.
Coyote.
Coyote,
There-
yeah. I think it was on the same thread that I saw yours on.
you'd have to ask Desiree back here. She's the one who keeps some of that
Okay,
stuff. I don't know.
so, because there's also been, and I can tell you who to contact.
Okay,
about that
because
one.
like I say, the one we got was over here off of Spanish Main, or Spanish Village, Main, in this neighborhood right here next to City Hall, and then his is across 225. So I think it's two separate instances where we've got coyotes.
Are our traps pretty effective?
The
ones that y'all use?
USDA traps were effective, yes, sir. We've got, like I say, we've just got a regular dog-type trap that we set to catch stray dogs. That is effective for us with the dogs, but like you said, coyotes, you know, remember Wile E. Coyote from Roadrunner?
I have a legitimate.
He's a
hunter-
smart fella.
I have legitimate hunter friends that affirm everything that he's saying, that, you know, that he can catch them with a snare, but you can get in that cage.
We did acquire some meat from one of the local grocery stores that they gave us, and we put out there, other than the dog food that we put out for our regular dogs, hoping that might lure him in better. But we won't know till in the morning when we check the trap, first thing.
Yeah, they immediately went to work for me. I can't be grateful enough. They were very, very fast to respond.
Well, I got to say that I think Eddie has highlighted something I was going to say earlier, that USDA, I think, is probably more qualified and better equipped to handle the coyote problem than us trying to do it with dog traps and so on. So,
I will
yeah,
second
definitely,
that.
I think it's the USDA. But Eddie, your guys, I also wanted to take an opportunity to say too, I mean, thank you for recognizing what they do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times those guys don't get the recognition that they need. So anyway.
We appreciate
glad to
it.
see that,
Yeah, they're
that
putting in the
people out
work.
there see that.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks again. And a lot of folks don't understand. I mean, we're very thin when it comes to an overhead standpoint as a city, because Public Works, in many cases, again, they're cutting all the right-of-way, fixing potholes, drainage issues.
Bridge issues.
Yeah, so, you know, dog catching issues. Unfortunately, sometimes they get called upon to get dogs, wildlife like coyotes. So we do appreciate all that you guys do, like Carl said, because,
Thank y'all.
you know, we just expanded, added some folks, and I think some of those guys are getting an education in the last couple
We've
months.
got a good
Yeah.
crew going right now, so thank y'all.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Eddie. So moving forward to announcements, we've got a couple of certificates of recognition. I had the privilege of attending the Baldwin County Board of Education Teacher of the Year ceremony, I guess back, a month ago, I guess, in the last month. And it was outstanding to see all of our teachers from all of our schools that are honored. Each school gets a teacher that they put up. And just want to recognize all of them tonight. First from Rockwell, Miss Ann Ryer, who's a 4th grade teacher. From Spanish Fort Middle School, Kimberly Barnes, who is a 7th grade English teacher at the middle school. Miss Jacqueline Wilson, who's a library media specialist at Stonebridge Elementary. We also had one of our 2 countywide counselors of the year, Miss Amber Urgel from Spanish Fort High School. She was the secondary counselor of the year. But I wanted to definitely recognize tonight our Baldwin County countywide Teachers of the Year. This year we're both from Spanish Fort feeder patterns. So our elementary teacher was Miss Elizabeth Von Hof. She teaches special education and multiple disabilities K through 6 at Spanish Fort Elementary. And then also Miss Emily Hudson, who's at Spanish Fort High School. She teaches Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. So Mr. Connor, if you could, would you mind reading those?
I'll read the one for a certificate of recognition to Elizabeth Eubanks Van Hoff first. And this is recognizing her as the 2025-2026 Elementary Teacher of the Year for Baldwin County. Whereas Elizabeth Eubanks Von Hoff is a 2nd career educator and the daughter of 2 lifelong educators from Limestone County, Alabama, and she earned dual bachelor's degrees in business and church vocations from Martin Methodist College and later earned a Master of Business Administration from the University of Alabama. And whereas Ms. Von Hoff began her career in healthcare administration and eventually stepped away to focus on her family and accepted a preschool teaching position, all while parenting a child with type 1 diabetes and a younger son with developmental delays. Those experiences shaped her passion for special education and advocacy for students with diverse needs. In preschool, she taught a variety of learners and became committed to ensuring every child has equal access to education and meaningful peer interaction. And whereas after relocating to South Alabama for her husband's job, Ms. Van Hoff began working as a substitute teacher, and she then chose to fully pursue a career in education. And whereas Ms. Van Hoff earned a master's degree in collaborative education and became national board certified in her 3rd year of teaching, she currently serves as a self-contained classroom teacher at Spanish Fort Elementary School, where she also serves as an IEP chair and Project Outreach chapter sponsor. Now, therefore, I, Brad Bass, Mayor of the City of Spanish Fort, Alabama, wish to publicly recognize Elizabeth Eubanks Von Hoff for her commitment to her students at Spanish Fort Elementary, given under my hand in the Great Seal of the City of Spanish Fort, Alabama, on this, the 20th day of April, in the year of our Lord, 2026, Brad Bass, Mayor.
Ms. Guy, Ms. Richardson, Ms. Powell, would you guys like to say anything? Sorry to put you on the spot. Yeah. So I've known Miss Bonhoeffer for, I guess, 5 years, 6 years? And I first met her, we live across the street from the elementary school, and we were walking our kids to school almost daily back then before the new school was there. And her smiling face was out there every morning. I think at that point you were a part-time volunteer or part-time teacher. But I know, that she gives her all every day, and I know it goes a long way. And I've heard that from all the students there at the elementary school. So thank you for all you do. She will be next week in Montgomery, correct? So she will be there to potentially win statewide Teacher of the Year. So good luck with that. Hopefully we have you back here again in a month or so to celebrate that as well. So, Mr. Connor?
And I want to apologize. I always check names ahead of time, and I was told Miss Van Hoff. But if you annex in, I'll make sure I'll get Miss Van Hoff in the future. No, I apologize. I got you. Well, thank you very much for your understanding. I'll make sure I get it right in the future. The next certificate of recognition is for Emily Hudson as the 2025-2026 Secondary Teacher of the Year for Baldwin County. And whereas Miss Emily Hudson's love for teaching began with a passion for language and connection, while she always loved the Spanish language, her path to the classroom was not a straight line. It was shaped by mission trips to Mexico and immersive study experiences in Spain, where she discovered that the true power of language lies in the connections it creates and the sense of family that can be found beyond one's native culture. And whereas after being inspired by educators in Alabama and spending time tutoring, coaching, and student substituting, Ms. Hudson realized that her love for the subject itself had become secondary to the joy of sharing it with others. With the encouragement of her professors at the University of South Alabama, she pursued her master's degree at the University of Alabama at Birmingham and began her career in the classroom. And whereas throughout her career, Ms. Hudson taught at Vestavia Hills High School, Mount Carmel Academy, and Spanish Fort High School, teaching Spanish 1 through Spanish 4 to hundreds of students. And whereas today Ms. Hudson serves as the World Language Department Chair at Spanish Fort High School, her professional purpose remains rooted in connection and community. Whether leading students in the classroom, coaching athletes, or collaborating with her colleagues, her goal is the same: to show students that language is a bridge. Teaching provides the opportunity to give students the keys to a wider and more connected world. Now, therefore, I, Brad Bass, Mayor of the City of Spanish Fort, Alabama, wish to publicly recognize Emily Hudson for her commitment to her students at Spanish Fort High School, given under my hand in the Great Seal of the City of Spanish Fort, Alabama, on this, the 20th day of April in the year of our Lord, 2026. Brad Bass, Mayor.
So I'll ask Dr. Smith the same thing. Ask the elementary school crew if she'd like to say something for Ms. Hudson. Yep. Thank you, Dr. Smith. So Ms. Hudson as well, I think Mr. Connor briefly mentioned it, but she's the women's golf coach and also the JV cheer coach. And you guys will be in sectionals next week with the women's golf team. So good luck next week. Hopefully we'll have you guys back like we did the volleyball team in a month or so after winning the championship. It'd be awesome. That's right. All right, a few more announcements tonight. Just wanted to remind everyone that we will have our 16th annual Delta Woods and Water Expo this coming weekend at the Old Five Rivers. It's from 9 to 3. There will be 3 performances by the Auburn Raptor team at 10 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m. So we invite the public out to enjoy that. There's actually some of the featured art by Miss Rihanna Blakely is here tonight on display. And I think, Mr. Weaver, you've got a video to play in conjunction with that.
My name is Rana Blakely. I'm an artist, have been for a very long time. I'm also a retired school nurse, pediatric nurse, and I paint when I feel like it and when somebody asks me to, and I paint from my own photographs. It's just something I enjoy doing. Well, it started when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, and I painted with crayons a Christmas thing with the elves in the red and the green and stayed in the lines, and the teacher came around and she goes, "Oh, look, you did yours in Christmas colors and stayed in the lines." And the two boys next to me looked at theirs and looked at mine. Theirs didn't look like mine. And then after that, I did, just kept it up. I was at South, a major in art, when I got out of high school, but then, life happened and I didn't finish that degree. And then when I turned 50, I went back to taking lessons, learned the latest techniques, and started painting back, kind of like the midlife crisis, So I started back and had some good teachers. One just graduated from South. She's painted all the latest new techniques and went from there. Okay, the idea for this piece was the Delta. They wanted something from the Delta. I had some old photographs that I'd done before, but this one was when we were on a dock with my son and daughter-in-law and their dog, and she had a cake, and it was their baby revealed, and the dog was to eat the cake to show. And while we were waiting for all of that, I took some shots off the dock, and this is one that I got. It's the one we liked the best. It just, showed the wildlife and the way the Delta looks and the way the water looks with the reflections and everything. So that's kind of where that came from. This piece is not exactly like the original. I cleaned it up a lot. I stood up to paint it because I just had some surgery. And it being long, it was fairly, you always do your background first, and then what's directly in front of the background, and you just kind of keep coming forward. So, some things would be very last, like the bird was last. He was kind of sketched in there, but he was last. He was the last thing to be painted, and then his reflection. And then I go back to what I call my tweaking stage, where I study it, I take photographs, and I say, I don't like this, I want to change this. You can't really see this, like that rock over there didn't show up at first, wasn't bright enough. So you go back and tweak it and look at it. And this is oils, and oils take sometimes days to dry. Certain colors don't dry as fast as others. So, I'd have to turn the fan on in the studio, try to dry it, and come back a few days later after I study it and decide if I like it. When I finally sign it, that's it. You don't touch it again. This one was not too much of a challenge because reeds are fairly easy. Some of them got too thick and I had to go thin them, decide I didn't like them, and thin the paint. But of course the bird was the biggest challenge, and the reflections. Getting the reflections the way I liked them and the way it looked natural. I paint natural. I like it to look like it's the real thing on the canvas. I've had people come up and touch it like it's real. So that was the most challenging thing, getting the reflections in the way I wanted it, to where it looked like real water from close up and from a distance. I'm just funny that way. So that was the most challenging part of it. It wasn't that difficult. This particular one wasn't that difficult for me, except the dry time, which oils take a while. So other than that, it was fairly, 3 months, I think I was done with it last summer while I recovered from surgery and just couldn't do anything else but paint.
So Ms. Blakely did a great job. I was able to meet her a couple weeks ago at the Pops by the Pond event here. She had the Spanish Fort Art Guild set up for the display. So she's very proud of her work. It's a beautiful piece. So still invite everyone out from the public this week to this Saturday. Of course, Thursday and Friday we'll have school groups coming through at Delta Woods and Water, and then 9 to 3 on Saturday. Also, the library will be celebrating National Library Week this week. During this week, we'll be waiving all fines and fees for replacement cards. I think Ms. Shanavia, the librarian, is trying to get folks back in the library before the summer, so that's an exciting thing. The library is also hosting a fundraiser night at Sonic this Thursday night, the 23rd, from 5 to 8, where 10% of all sales will go directly to the library. Also at Delta Woods this weekend, 2 of our librarians will be hosting storytime sessions at both 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. That does it for announcements. Any old business we need to discuss? All right. For new business, I'd like to introduce ordinance number 737, 2026. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a proposed ordinance amending ordinance number 5196 of the City of Spanish Fort, Alabama. In particular, it would amend the table of permitted uses, section 6.4, to add an additional provision and authorized use. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on April 13, 2026, and forwards a positive recommendation for this amendment to the zoning ordinance. And in particular, this amendment would add a use for golf cart sales enclosed within a structure and allowing the outside display of no more than one golf cart to be located on the same property and situated so as not to impede or impair the normal flow of vehicular traffic or pedestrian traffic. Such display shall not create any noncompliance with or violate any applicable ADA standards or any other applicable laws, rules, or regulations related to the access or otherwise, and no signage or advertising shall be allowed on the golf cart on outside display. This use would be allowed with Planning Commission approval in B3 and by right in B4 if the City Council were to approve this amendment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Connor. Any discussion around this ordinance? Again, it's just being introduced tonight. We will have a public hearing on May 4th to consider ordinance number 737, 2026. Next, we'll look at resolution number 1589, 2026. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a resolution authorizing a contract with Mississippi Mosquito Control, LLC, doing business as Vector Disease Control International, LLC, to provide mosquito control services to the City of Spanish Fort. A copy of the proposed contract is attached as an exhibit to include surveillance, larviciding, adulticiding, and record keeping, and additional training and public outreach as part of their agreement. The cost of the proposed contract or agreement is $24,350 per year, and it's billed on a monthly basis based on invoices submitted by the contractor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Connor. Any discussion around resolution number 1589, 2026? Do you have a motion to approve resolution number 1589, 2026?
Motion to approve 1589, 2026.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. White.
Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Wynn,
Yes.
Brabner,
Yes.
Mayor Bass.
Yes. Resolution number 1589, 2026 is adopted. Next, we'll look at resolution number 1592, 2026. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a resolution naming those portions of Alabama State Route 225 located within the corporate limits of the City of Spanish Fort, Alabama, as American Patriots Way. This is done in conjunction with, in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, as well as recognizing the City of Spanish Fort's and Baldwin County's contribution in the American Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and also recognizing the fact that the only known burial site for a Revolutionary War veteran is at Saluda Hill Cemetery along Highway 225. The significance of the Blakely battlefield and those Union troops and Confederate troops who engaged in that engagement, as well as approximately 5,000 African American soldiers who served in United States colored troops, which played a decisive role in the battle. In addition to the historic battlefield and the park, the City Council also, along with the government agencies, assisted along with the county in the establishment of the Alabama State Veterans Memorial Cemetery, which opened in December 7, 2012, and also recognizing the vision and work of people in this very community to establish the Honor Flight South Alabama, which between 2008 and May 2013 took numerous American patriots who served in World War II to visit their memorial at the National World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. This resolution also, as introduced at the last meeting, requested the Baldwin County Commission to take action to name those portions of Highway 225 outside the corporate limits the same name of American Patriots Way. And at their last County Commission meeting, the County Commission passed that resolution. So if the City Council passes this resolution tonight, then the name of State Route 225 from its intersection with US Highway 31 to the south and its intersection with I-65 to the north will be renamed American Patriots Way.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Connor. Any discussion on this resolution? So, Steve, do you have something? Okay, I'd just like to thank everybody that was involved. I was at the county commission meeting, I guess a week and a half ago, where they approved to do the same through the county routes outside of our corporate limits. It was really an all-in-one, I guess, team process, both at the state level with our local state delegation, Representative Matt Simpson, Representative Donna Givens, Representative Holt Jones, and Representative Fiddler, as well as Sheriff Lowry, who's the head of the 911 board, and then our county commission as well to get this done. And I know Dr. Booth, who brought this to us a couple months ago, it was a high priority for him to honor obviously the veterans, but also all patriots. He wanted to make sure we discussed all patriots that maybe didn't serve in the military, but also have served in other capacities, and then just patriots in general. So I think this will go a long way in doing that. And we will be partnering with both the county and some third-party nonprofits to work with signage that hopefully over the next couple months, once the Postal Service gets some of this ironed out, hopefully by 4th of July, we'll have some signage up along the route from Highway 31 all the way to 225, if this were to be approved tonight by the council. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 1592, 2026?
Proudly make a resolution to pass resolution 1592, 2026.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. White.
Smith.
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes.
Wynn.
Yes.
Brabner.
Yes.
Mayor Bass.
Yes, resolution number 1592, 2026 has been approved. Next, we'll look at resolution number 1594, 2026. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a resolution approving retirement procedures for the Spanish Fort Police Department. As part of their retirement procedures and policies applicable to the department, depending on the years of service, they've asked that it be approved to provide certain honors, including plaques, badges, and other equipment that was used during their service time. This is routinely done to different departments around the state, the country, and this would recognize that service for those persons qualifying and would allow that equipment to be utilized for their honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Connor. So this resolution is being introduced tonight. I know we had Lieutenant Gilmore, who retired in December, and they will be looking during National Police Week to honor him. So it'll be introduced tonight. We will look to our May 4th meeting to move it over to then for approval, so we can get that done in time for y'all's banquet later in May. Any discussion further on this resolution item? All right. And finally, we'll look at resolution number 1595, 2026. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a resolution appointing a new member to the Spanish Fort Public School Commission. It's come to the council's attention that Tracy Roberts, who has served for some time, has wanted to step down. And this would appoint Elizabeth Wilder as by the city council for the at-large position to serve the remaining term for Tracy Roberts through April 5, 2027. After that time, she would be eligible for reappointment if the city council so desired.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Connor. Any discussion on this resolution?
I would just like to say I'm proud to put Elizabeth up. She is one of the few people in our town we can say that's gone all the way through our schools until she got booted down to Daphne to go to high school.
Yeah, and just echoing that, she has a child at the high school and at the middle school, and I think she has a passion for our schools like many of the others here in our community. So, you know, as long as this is approved tonight, we look forward to you working with the Public School Commission. So on this one, do I have a motion to approve resolution number 1595, 2026?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call, Ms. White?
Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Wynn,
Yes.
Brabner,
Yes.
Mayor Bass.
Yes, resolution number 1595, 2026 is approved. Is there any other further business to discuss? All right, we will reconvene our work session at the end of this meeting in about 10 minutes or so. Anything else you guys need to add? Do I have a motion to adjourn our regularly scheduled council meeting and reconvene the work session in 10 minutes, about 7:10 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. White?
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Wynn,
Yes.
Brabner.
Yes.
Mayor Bass.
Yes. The regular council meeting is adjourned.